Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first show of the 2012-2013 NFL season from Big Pick 4. This is our preseason show to introduce you to the upcoming season of money-winning sportsbook and Vegas picks by our experts, Big B, Brother Brian, and Big D, Danny the Jew.
Hey, speaking of, hey, Scott, did you tell your kids that they have a Jewish uncle?
Yes, I did.
A rich Jewish uncle?
Who doesn't attend a synagogue?
Nope.
So this is the show where Big B and Big D will give you the best 4 picks for Sunday NFL games, to include the Big B, Brian Guarantee, and the Big D, Dan Guarantee.
Don't forget you.
How'd you guys do last
Scott,
season?
Don't forget you added the thing at the end where you piggyback off our pick.
Yeah, your producer's pick.
Producer's pick.
Oh, the producer's pick, where I picked the best of the 4
yeah,
picks.
that was a good idea.
With the Big
O,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Have to include that this year.
Yeah, you were like 3-0 until you lost, I think.
Yeah.
I think you won your first 3.
Yeah, we did pretty well last year. What, we have like 56,
Yeah.
57%?
Yeah, well, I have a list of things I wanted to talk about on the intro here, Scott.
All right.
Have at it.
Let's hear
All right,
it.
well, the number one thing is I want to apologize to the audience for being a wuss bag about Saturdays.
Yeah, Raingate.
But this year it's only going to be Fridays. I've already talked to Dan. No matter what, it'll only be Fridays. We're going to have the show every Friday night. There will be no Saturdays. We're not going to miss any shows. I also want to talk about me and Dan have a bet with Brenton. Remember the guy who made fun of you last year, Scott?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we have a...
What did he say? I look creepy? I look like Charles
Yeah,
Manson?
he look like a
Something
child
like
molester.
that. Yeah.
Charles Manson eyes?
Yeah.
We have a $25 bet against him.
Yeah, he said what, we can't get like 60% right or something?
Yeah.
I forget what the
So I would like, that's going to be a continuing theme, is how we make fun of Brenton. Also, I would like to say that we have, because how awesome our show is, we've destroyed Ryan Robinson's show. His show is an absolute failure. I would just like to make a shout out. He only managed to do 4 shows, Scott. So
But there was a reason behind that.
No, the reason is because the show sucks.
He had he had an unfortunate death in the family, so he didn't want to do shows anymore.
All right, I also wanted to talk about how last year we improved.
Hey, the show must go on.
Yeah. Well, I could.
Well, I didn't know that was the reason.
Yes, that was the reason.
No, neither. I just got to tell you up front, neither of you two are indispensable here.
You have new talent waiting in the wings.
I also like to talk about how we've improved on the first season. We were about 46%. The second season, we were about 56%. So we had about a 10% increase. I'd also just like to, me and Dan would like to mention, Scott, your shenanigans, and they will not happen again. The Raiders pick, where you changed
He changed the line. Changed the line
after the show was over, and we lost the pick because of that.
Yeah, you made it a draw. It was.
So no more of that. Once the show goes on at 6 o'clock, that's it. You cannot change the line.
Yeah, after the fact, after it's picked. I made it a push instead of a win.
And also, just briefly, just reviewing the format from last year. Beginning of the show, intro, we bust each other's balls. Dan does his badge of the year. Badge of the week, I'm sorry. Then we roll into reviewing the previous week's picks. Then we do our picks. Then Scott does his commercial. Then we have the last 2 picks, the Big B, the Big D. And then I end up the show doing the man violation.
And we also don't forget the Big O pick.
And the Big O pick, yeah.
Yeah, and this I might say, I know last year the Badge of the Week was called the Eli Manning Badge of the Week Award. I think we have to be renamed the Rex Ryan Badge of the Week Award.
Yeah.
The way that team's gone. But, I digress.
Who won? I forgot who won the Badge of the Year last year. Do you remember?
I don't remember. Too long ago.
Just curious who won the
Because
badge.
we never did a Super Bowl show, so we never got a chance to do that.
That's right. Well, so who do you think would take it? Sanchez?
I think it was either Sanchez, Ryan, maybe Tony Romo. I don't know, they're all good choices.
The horrible Eagles tackling.
Yeah, right. The Eagles, Namdi Asmoah.
Yeah. Hey, let me just.
I just want to make a quick correction. It's not my commercial, Brian. It's an announcement from our sponsor. We have a paid, sponsors pay big money for the ads on this program, and I think you're belittling the product when you say it's Scott's commercial.
You should have seen that.
That's my staff here.
So I see you're a cat guy now.
Yes. We're a cat family.
You want to introduce your staff there, Scott?
Very feminine. We also have, in addition to the cats, we have Mandy and Tecumseh here as our home-based staff.
Do the stats.
Go ahead and say hi, Mandy and Tecumseh.
Hi.
Hello.
That's Mandy. Say hi, Tecumseh.
What's up, Tecumseh? It's your Uncle Brian.
Oh, great. I have a cat on my head.
The first show, we already have technical difficulties.
All right. All right, so moving on, we've got the intros out of the way.
Yeah. You want to say anything?
Dan, did you have any recap or remarks from last season?
No, last year was a good year. Obviously my input made a tremendous impact on us increasing the number of picks we got right compared to the Buru doing it by himself the year before. We went up 10%. It was good, other than obviously we had some shenanigans between you putting up a wrong pick one week instead of Brian's pick.
Yeah,
and then you changed that the Raiders won.
Bet. I had the bet. Remember when I
that caused
called
so many
that
problems.
So many problems in my office, dude. I called you and I told you to change the pick and you never did.
Oh man, then you changed the website, and then everyone called Brian a Welcher on the bet. That was
horrible.
A mess.
It's horrible. It's total disaster.
Yeah.
What was the deal on that though? It was he was gonna pick a game.
I called you.
He told you to put a certain game in. You said
but
no.
Then the last minute, no, remember I gave you the pick, then I called at the last minute, told you to change my previous pick, and you said you couldn't.
Yeah, because I had already done the storyboard.
It takes 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds to edit, Scott.
I don't.
It took effort was the key thing.
But,
the only other.
Oh, so that caused you a lot of grief.
Yeah.
But,
the only other thing I'd like to point out is I beat Dan last year.
Because they had bullshit pick.
No,
That's
that was
why.
a legit pick.
No,
that was
wasn't,
legit.
he changed
No,
it.
that was a legit.
Later,
pick.
you introduced
that
the wrong pick
pick
on the show,
that is a
and
legit
that's the one
pick.
you lose.
That was
so
a,
it was
that,
a draw.
No, I beat you.
No, you
I
didn't.
beat you.
No, you didn't. Because you introduced the false pick on the show, and because that was recorded as your pick, you can't go back and change it later and be a revisionist historian. I mean, this is the same man here who wished it could be like the 1950s again, in which the women didn't work and were still segregated. So that's all the audience needs to know about him.
Oh, on that.
I did notice that our number of views went up based on how drunk Brian was on the show.
Yeah, we had one shot, 22 views.
That was when I kept.
There was one show that was so bad that Dan tried to pick Brian's picks up and read the picks for him, and Brian wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I know. You were totally off the wall.
And I kept farting.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
I also, before we go into the regular part of the show, I'd just like to say congratulations to Mitt Romney for picking Paul Ryan. Like I say, weasels flock together.
When the hell did this become a political show?
I just want to say, one weasel for another weasel. Weasels
so then
flock together.
Then he would have picked Joe Banner.
That's my political statement for the
season.
For the season. All right, that's my.
And
go Obama! Go Obama!
Yeah.
Vote Obama.
After that's over. And the other thing I'd like to say is I think we should do playoff shows this year that we did not have last year. Since the first 2 rounds of the playoffs are 4 games anyway.
Oh, that's true.
And then we do a Super Bowl show. We might as well do a championship show as well. So
That's a good idea because they're 4 games.
yeah, because the 4
anyway.
games first 2 weeks. We can
That's
still
true.
do 4.
Still do the 4. That's right.
He should have. Romney should have picked that Eagles lineman from Jersey.
Oh, Runyon.
Oh, John Runyon.
Oh, he's a buffoon.
Yo, me and Scott met him at the bar. Remember that, Scott? That
Yeah.
was cool.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, a word from our sponsor.
You don't deserve to be in the same room as me. You're wasting my oxygen. Now beg for my forgiveness, or I'm gonna...
Hello. Oh, God, just work. Now I miss you more.
Heineken Special Dark. It's dark, but not that dark.
You want some?
I bet you do.
All right, we are back and moving into the picks for the NFL 2012-2013 season. Big Dan, let's have them.
All right. Well, here's my shot in the dark. I know this is going to be completely wrong, but here we go. In the NFC, the final 2 I have is San Francisco versus New Orleans. And in the AFC, I have New England versus Cincinnati, with San Francisco and the Bengals pulling off the upset and San Francisco winning the Super Bowl. This is crazy. This is insane, but I felt like going completely off the wall.
You did have some,
you
you did have some legitimate points how the Steelers are old, the Ravens are...
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a changing of the guard in the AFC, especially with the Bengals. They seemed like an up-and-coming team last year. If Andy Dalton can play at the same level a little bit better, what's his name? Lewis, whatever the hell his name is. Marvin Lewis got rid of all the idiots off the team. All the troublemakers and drug dealers and whatnot. So I think they have a chance. San Francisco, who knows? Alex Smith could have had a career year, and now he's going to fall on his face. So let's see what happens with him.
But they added some weapons.
True, but I just wanted to go off the wall, not pick the Eagles or pick the Green Bay and New Orleans, all these other teams, that always get picked every year. So see what happens. I picked Houston last year, almost got lucky, so why not?
Now, Dan, did you make your picks prior to knowing that Seattle picked up T.O.?
Yeah, I knew about that, and he's not
I
going
caution you on
He's
that.
not make much of a difference there. That team is weird. I don't know what the hell Pete Carroll's doing there. Their first round pick was some guy who's projected to be a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And they have a strange quarterback competition.
Yeah, 3-way competition.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
They're going to be bad.
Yeah, I think they're going to have some problems. Owen's not going to get the ball to him. He's going to get pissed off at some point. So we'll have to see what happens.
All right,
Now for Big B.
Hey, let's hear your picks.
All right, my picks. I'm going to go in the NFC. I'm going to go Green Bay versus San Fran. In the AFC, I'm going to go New England versus the Houston Texans. And in the Super Bowl, I'm going to go Green Bay versus New England. And I think New England's going to win. And Dan pointed out these are all the easy Vegas choices, but I don't know, they make the most sense to me. Except the Texans is kind of that one might
Yeah,
go
that's a good
against the
one.
grain, but I like the Texans. I think if Schaub stays healthy this year, they have a great defense. And I have Andre Johnson and Arian Foster. I think they could have a really good year.
So neither of you are picking the boy wonder from down south, Drew Brees?
No.
Well, he picked.
Well, I picked them to go to the NFC Championship
No, he
game.
did. Dan picked them to go to the NFC Championship game.
But I think they're gonna have a good year. I think they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder. They're gonna be pissed about what Goodell did to them, and it's gonna motivate them to have a good season.
What about the Manning factor at Mile High? What's going on there?
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Manning, Denver, December.
Yeah,
doesn't sound like a
outside.
good combination.
He's an indoor quarterback. Dan said that he might get his first hit he takes. Who knows how?
Yeah, I wonder
react.
what's going to happen when he takes his first face mask. How his neck is going to react to that kind of jolt. Some 300-pound man pulling his head down.
Well, hopefully that the other teams have set up some type of incentive program for their defense You know, bonuses for neck injuries on Peyton.
Oh my. The bounty.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Are you gonna throw in a Sandusky joke while you're at it?
Wow, you know.
The tickle monster.
Yeah, we weren't touching that last season, were we? I think we did make an off-color joke
Yeah,
about
you
that.
made a joke.
Yeah.
I remember.
Out
Yeah.
of locker room or something. But other thing I was going to mention is neither of you are T-bowing either.
That team is in trouble.
Yeah, he was pointing out their locker room is strife. He said there was a fight.
They fought 3 times already in training camp. The coach already lost control.
My coach used to love that. He said that was a high-intensity level.
No, this is inner players just not getting along.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
I do. The one thing I will say about the Jets, they're going to use Tebow in the Wildcat. I like that. They're going to
Well, he might.
3rd and 1.
So
down
he's
the
gonna
goal
vulture
line.
some touchdowns.
Yeah, he's going to get some touchdowns.
That's fantasy, but so what? I mean, it's as John Madden used to say, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
Yeah, no quarterbacks. That's true.
That's one of the few smart things he actually said. Unlike, you know, if you score more touchdowns, you're going to win the game.
Well, what about to Duncan? That was smart.
Well, that was.
No, I was like, now look at this guy's socks. Let's zoom in on his socks. You see how he wears his socks?
I used to like when he used to have a camera guy go in the parking lot and film what everyone's cooking with the tailgating.
Yeah.
Then he would circle and talk about what it is, how to make it.
The schnapps and
Now, see, you have the bratwurst over here, and then you circle this here, and then you see how you cook this at 350 for 20 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So run by the Super Bowl picks of the Super Bowl winning team, San Fran and who else?
New England.
San Fran and New England.
You
Yeah.
pick San Fran, I pick New England.
All right, it's recorded. There's no welching on your
Hey,
picks.
Scott, you gotta do your big O.
Previously.
You gotta pick off our picks.
Absolutely. I'm off of those picks. I'm definitely going with San Fran.
Okay. Winning it all?
What's the Vegas line on that right now? Probably like 250 to 250 to 1 or something. I don't know.
I bet it's lower than that.
Oh yeah, you're right. But I didn't check it.
All right.
All right.
So there you have it. You've got your pre-show just to get the ball rolling for upcoming season, and as always.
Wait. I just want to say before we end the show, I'd like to thank Dan for buying the laptop for the show. I just want to shout out.
Yeah, you're welcome. My contribution to the show. So let's
Stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
Dan.
that's right. You can't make the show must go on.
Thank you, Dan.
Yep. No problem.
Hey, we're gonna start up an O'Haran fantasy team. You guys in?
I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.